Welcome to our precise alternative fleet solutions presentation. Our team offers both sales and technical support. Our experience has enabled us to develop a strategic yet flexible approach for fleet professionals and propane companies nationwide, aiding in lowering fuel costs and achieving sustainability goals. Propane Autogas, a proudly American energy source, guarantees fleets a stable and consistent supply and pricing structure. Two key benefits stand out for fleets transitioning to alternative fuels. First, the ability to lock in contract propane prices with a supplier enables the pre-purchase and storage of fuel. Second, uniquely amongst fuels, propane remains accessible during natural disasters or power outages, ensuring energy security. In our upcoming video, we'll explore how simple modifications to existing refilling stations can accommodate propane autogas, an affordable step towards broader adoption for both fleets and propane companies. Today, let's focus on the vehicle system providers we collaborate with to outfit new vehicles with clean, efficient propane autogas solutions. We proudly offer technical support for all propane autogas brands and eagerly anticipate the future of autogas. By creating a one-stop shop for autogas-powered units, we aim to streamline the deployment process for propane companies. To highlight this, we will present segments from Alliance Autogas and Roush CleanTech. Thank you for your time and attention, and we look forward to guiding you through the promising landscape of autogas for many years to come. Come see us at the National Propane Gas Association show in Charlotte, North Carolina in April 2024.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brandon Cox. I'm with Alliance Autogas. Just wanted to talk a little bit today about how easy it is to make a switch to propane and some of the EPA certified conversion systems that we're offering for gasoline-powered vehicles. Here's some of the vehicle platforms. We currently have over 1,900 different EPA certified conversion systems available for any gasoline powered vehicles. Where we're looking at is class 2 through 7. So think of it as like F250s through F750s with gasoline powered engines that we can upfit to run a biofuel propane system on it. So, or hybrid, a lot of people like to call it. So basically, the vehicle would crank on gasoline, reach operating temperature, and then switch over to propane and stay on propane unless it runs out. If it runs out of propane, seamlessly switch back. So it gives that, takes away the range anxiety for going to an alternative fuel. Anyway, you can see some of the options. Why autogas? Well, we like to call it the 3 E's. Economics is one of them. To save money on your fleet's fuel costs. You know, that's what we're after. We're to try to lower your operating costs and less downtime. Propane's very clean for your engines. The environment, if you are working with a fleet or you are a fleet that has some sustainability goals or anything, targeted towards the environment, propane is a very clean burning fuel. It reduces your greenhouse emissions and lowers your NOx ratings. And then finally, the energy security. Propane, as mentioned earlier, with Twin Feathers, that 99% of propane is produced in North America. So it takes away the foreign dependency of worrying about what's going on overseas. Here's a chart that is showing the last 24 months of how stable propane is, and you can see it's sub $2 per gallon for the majority of the time. And you can even see with that volatility of gasoline back in June of 22 at $5 a gallon. I think we all remember when that happened. So, and diesel there's even a larger spread for diesel. So just wanted to show this graph. I think it's very compelling to show how stable and smooth the fuel is for us.
Great slide, Brandon.
All right. Also, so to show, going back to green, clean energy, the federal government has given a tax credit of 37 cents per gallon to run a clean fuel. That is good through December of 2024 this year, but for the past decade we've had this tax incentive. So we hope that it comes back, but and if it does, what will happen? It will retroactively credit back. So we'll have all the data, your gallons that were consumed, and then the way they've done it in the past. Okay, complete solution. This is where Ronnie's crew comes in and his team. Basically, we're providing the EPA certified conversion systems for the specific fleet. We then ship them into a conversion center, do the upfitting and the conversion process for you guys or your fleet, and then stop shop, and it's all integrated in our partnerships with our conversion centers and customers and Blossman Gas as the propane provider. Okay, and then the conversion systems I mentioned earlier, they're EPA certified. In order to maintain your factory warranty on a vehicle, these must be EPA certified. We offer a 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty on our conversion systems. They are plug and play, not always plug and play. Ronnie would say it's not quite plug and play, but most of them are. We do have adapters that plug in, and there's a little bit of cutting into wires and soldering, but for the most part, and bolting the tanks on. But otherwise, it's a very easy retrofit. Again, and it's biofuel, so no need to worry about running out and getting back to the house. This is just talking a little bit about fueling infrastructure. So again, I mentioned we bring you your own fueling skid. It sets down similar to the photographs you guys saw earlier, but Ronnie actually has one at his facility that y'all could see if you would like to take a look at it. But it's integrated skid mounted fuel management, and we run the Stably nozzle as was noted earlier from Berquist. That's the Euro style that. It's no gloves and goggles required anymore, like back in the day, and it is zero thread on. It just plugs on, similar to that of like a hydraulic coupling or an air fitting. And the tanks are equipped with an OPD in them, so you can only fill the tank to 80% of the water capacity. It gives room for expansion during hot and cold. And there's almost a mirrored image of what Ronnie has sitting at his facility right now. That's just that's what it is, and it shows the fuel management side of it if you choose to go with the fuel management option. But that's just a single 1,000-gallon propane skid. Takes up about 2 parking spaces if you're kind of thinking of this area that you would like to put one of these. Really, we supply the whole skid. The only thing that you would need to provide would be, or the customer, or your customer would be crash protection and electrical supply. It's fairly inexpensive to do that and relatively quick.
Thank you guys very much for allowing me. Ronnie, appreciate you. Happy birthday to your wife. And it's nice to know that the godfather of propane, my old man, Steve Whaley, who's at Bluebird now, he was formerly at Perk, his birthday's today too. So it seems like all the legends were born on February 16th. So. All right, jumping right in, guys. I know I'm the last, one of the last ones before lunch, so I'm going to tackle this relatively quickly. And if you guys have any questions afterwards, feel free to note to me. I'll have my contact information available, and Ronnie has it. So I'm Derek Whaley. I'm with Roush Cleantech, a division within Roush Enterprises. It's the global engineering services firm that touches anything that goes out of the atmosphere, in the air, on the ground, below the ground, and in the ocean. A lot of our different services are done by the one of 5,000 employees that Jack Roush employs, still privately held all over the world. Roush Industries is probably about 80% of our business, and it's all shrouded by NDAs and confidentiality, and really in the shadows that other companies take and brand as their own. And I'll get into that a little bit. We have the Roush Fenway Keselowski team, NASCAR. We also have Roush Performance with people like Brantley Gilbert, Hardy, Morgan Wallen, Harold Varner III. Those brand ambassadors drive a lot of our products out there that you see on the road. They always like to say, what's the difference between a race car and a road car is a Roush car, right? I personally think that we're Jack's favorite division because we're going to be the legacy that lives on in the clean transportation space, which is Roush Cleantech. We've been in business, I believe, really since 2007 or 8 is when we received a grant from PERC to do an F-150. And here we are over 15, I guess, getting on 15 years later and still doing quite well. I don't mean to be a Roush commercial. I just like to show this. I saw, Paul Strobles. I see some fleets are in the audience, obviously some providers, to establish a little bit of trust and credibility. There have been a lot of different, let's just say, technology providers that have come onto the space and exited very, very quickly, which leaves a lot of fleet customers out to dry. So Roush is very heavily diversified. We are very huge advocates at Propane Autogas on the clean tech side. But as a services engineering group, hydrogen fuel cells, electric, compressed natural gas, propane, gasoline, diesel, you name it, right? Every energy you could probably think of, we work with in a lot of different applications, whether autonomous electrification vehicles or hydrogen fuel cell for freight companies, global freight companies that we work with, or some pretty new exciting stuff that's happening even on and off road in the clean energy space. And then also anything to do with Universal or Disney. Our DNA is on every single park and most rides around the world. So pretty exciting industry to be in. We've taken that same engineering core and leveraged it into our dedicated propane autogas fueling system. So we've had a very close relationship with Ford Motor Company over the past 50 years, which in turn gives us what you see here, whether it's Altoona, ultra low NOx levels 0.02, which is currently being proposed as the 2031 goal. So EPA, CARB, all 50 state approval. And it seems that we're exporting some vehicles now to Aruba, the Cayman Islands, other places that share our passion for paying lower fuel costs. But everything is purpose-built through us, through Ford's ship-through process. So if you're looking at the vehicle behind me, a postal truck or any number of one of beverage trucks that we operate, they build them exactly the same way that they would on gas and diesel. Because of our ship-through code, they can go to any body upfitter, whether it's Mickey, Morgan, Supreme, you fill in the blank, to get upfitted and then back into Ford traffic, just as it would be OEM. Same thing with the pass-through device. We communicate through Ford's IDS. Their scan tool device can read it the same way as they could gasoline or diesel. So it maintains the Ford factory warranty behind it. We're one of 2 companies, I believe, in the world that Ford gives total access to their coding and calibration, so we can optimize the specific parameters of propane for that engine specifically, so that the end fleet user doesn't see any hiccup or change in operation whatsoever. So moving on, as far as our scorecard goes, I'm pretty proud of this. This is my 11th year with Roush. So I think I was their 14th hire or 15th hire, but pretty exciting, just like a lot of the friends that I'm seeing here in the audience, that we've been a part of an incredible roller coaster. Maybe not the trendiest, maybe not most popular, but behind the scenes, we're getting the job done and we're growing year over year. And I truly do believe that through these next 4 to 5 years, we're going to see some adoption levels that we've never seen in our industry. Currently, right now, we have 45,000 vehicles that are on the road, a little over 2 billion miles worth of experience spread out over 3,500 fleets. And really, we spend our time, and we've isolated the class 4 through 7 space. Really, medium duty application is what we have harnessed on. There's great technology out there. I know that Alliance Autogas and some other providers have for lighter duty vehicles, which if we can't do it, we always sheepdog people over to that area, because I'm a big believer in propane, and I think a high tide rises all ships. So what's really cool about this in particular fleet is we get tied to, along with Ford Motor Company, another high volume OEM in the school bus world, which we've had this partnership for over 10 years now. So Bluebird is one of really 4 school bus manufacturers, the only one that offers propane and gasoline. I love the gasoline part because it gets people over to propane probably within a year now, although we're seeing that adoption happen even faster. Just to give you guys an idea of the trend, which you may not see in the news or major outlets, but it started in 2012. As you can see, it's a hockey stick growth of adoption, where I was just on a call earlier, 66% now of everything that Bluebird builds is a non-diesel, which is pretty drastic when you look at the space that school bus operates: heavy idle, stop start, medium duty application, right? So that's 66% of that. 63% of that is a Roush Ford engine. So very heavily invested in our product. We've stayed exclusive with Bluebird because we're private. We can do what we want, and we're very loyal. And they took a chance on us, and we want to stay with our dance partner. Currently, right now, we've got 20,000 on the road. The reason I show this, I know there's more people than school bus that are on here, but everywhere where one of these birds represents is a deployment, not just a single bus. So as you can see, from Anchorage to Hawaii, down to Florida, up to New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Quebec, all the different provinces, no matter what the temperature, the altitude, or the terrain, propane's getting the world's most precious cargo delivered to school. And once you see a bird or a flag planted, domino effect around it, right? Not just their peers, but we're starting to see districts, municipalities, paratransit, fleets that are seeing, oh, okay, my school district runs propane, why? And then all of a sudden, here we are talking commercial vehicles and white fleet vehicles down the road. 37% of the largest 100 school districts in the country are running propane, whether that's LA, Minneapolis, Boston, Philadelphia, Atlanta. It's pretty wildly adopted. But my favorite part is are purchasing propane. There's school bus contractors, for-profit contractors that are buying one bus, they have one route, and they're buying propane, right? That's how easily accessible it is. So while it's, cool to see Boston and the LAs and all that doing that, we love the high volume. We like to show that if it works for the 1 to 5 bus operators, it can work for anybody. So just give you an idea of the results that are coming, because this trend is moving. I know electric is still a very popular energy source for fleets right now with all the funding that's out there. But for those of us that have seen this before, we saw it with CNG, which is a great fuel. It just wasn't a one size fits all, right? It has its applications. Same thing with electric. It's not going to be one size fits all, but it will happen to permeate. A lot of money being saved, a lot of different deployments. Like I spoke earlier, once you get into school bus, then it quickly migrates into the commercial application. And these are our non-school bus deployments that we have all over the country. Some of the vehicles you might have seen on the road today, whether they're delivering food, whether they're delivering ice cream, refrigerated, transporting students to university, tow trucks, as well as beverage haulers, whether it's Pepsi, Primo, Absapure, a lot of these different beverage haulers that are and were going with diesel only. Now that, they have to meet certain, with the new publicly traded companies' demands to have sustainability on their reports, they can't all go electric. Like I'll take Beambo, for example. They do electric where they can, but in areas where it's cold climate, they have larger range. They're going with our 0.02 CARB certified vehicle platform with propane. So pretty good. One size does not fit all. It's going to take all the fuels to get it there, and propane helps check those boxes for some of those fleets. Ski resorts, U.S. Mail, which Brandon Cox and I have worked on a few projects together with this specific group. This one is pretty incredible. A lot of people talk about range anxiety. These are dedicated propane mail haulers that do about 100 to 125,000 miles per year per truck. For the propane suppliers in the room, that's about 18,000 gallons per truck per year. It's kind of the holy grail when it comes to fleet application, but they can work there. They can work just about anywhere. Same thing with the trolleys that are out there, whether you're looking at Maine or Laguna Beach, California, still very heavily and prominent. This is one of the fleet viewpoints that I like to show to everybody, because we're in a very unique position now in transportation where regulation is meeting adoption, which is meeting new technology. So gasoline and diesel, everyone's familiar with. A lot of pros. Cons, unfortunately, are getting very complex, specifically with diesel. Gas is soon going to be a very complex one come the next EPA CARB regulation round. And then on the other side, you see people promoting a lot of funds are allocated towards EV and fuel cell. Now, not all fleets can adopt that, and what we see is propane is a perfect fit for a lot of those applications. Beambo describes propane as clean gas. They said it's that simple for their technicians, for their drivers. They don't see any difference whatsoever in power and performance. So in their minds, it's like we get past and get to be able to run these vehicles in, let's just say, California, the more ones, without upsetting any of their operation, all the way from technician mechanics up to the business office. These are some of the fuel options that we touch on. Cold, from scalability to cold weather. The record is negative 55 degrees below zero in Canada, sitting outside for 2 days, started within 17 minutes, had 70-degree cabin temperature. So we love the cold. Unlike some of our other energies that are out there, we thrive in it. This is currently what's happening next for diesel. So a lot of people, and gasoline too. A lot of people are not aware of this. They got a fresh taste of it, I think, as of January 1. Because what was the regulation for nitrogen oxide emissions, which is something that EPA and CARB are going to come down pretty hard on, as they have already, you had to get 75% cleaner from last year to this year. And then come 2027, you're going to get to 0.035. Now, that was going to be 0.02, but because we have a very good, long-standing relationship with EPA and CARB, sometimes we get to advise them on certain things along with other OEM applications. Be able to say, hey, we understand what you're trying to do, but here's some realistic expectations that we should probably set for the transportation sector. So currently, as of right now, we meet through 2031. So a lot of fleets that are out there are pretty labored, especially if you're in a California or New York state where you went from gasoline, diesel, maybe to CNG, and then now they're saying, okay, move away from CNG, go to electric. And now some people are saying, move away from electric, go to hydrogen. We want to be able to give a future-proof engine that's stable, consistent for fleets to be able to operate. That affects both their bottom line, meets sustainability goals, and meets EPA CARB regulation as well. So that's my pitch. I hope you guys have a wonderful lunch. Wish I could have been down there. Ronnie, you're the man. Hope to see you again very, very soon. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. Roush and the team we're all propane all the time. So any way we can help anybody, we're here for you.